Amy.
And I'm Laura.
And we are Two Paper Girls. We're back with another Top 5 Wednesday, and this week is characters that you want to defend, as in they're hated usually, unpopular opinion on BookTube and general. They are hated, but you love them and have something to defend them with.
We thought this topic was a really good, interesting topic, but I can actually think of many characters I wanted to defend because I tend to like and dislike the characters most people do, but we've still got 5 each, so let's just get into it.
I haven't got the book for this one because it's actually a play that we studied in 20th century plays. It's like from 1918 or something. It's called Hedda Gabler and she is the main protagonist. And she's generally not a very nice person. And she's not very nice. And loads of people that we studied it with said, oh, they hated her. But I thought she was amazing. I thought she was a badass. And I just think she was brilliant. I don't understand why she committed suicide, but I think that she is a great character. And people shouldn't hate her.
My number 5 is Warner from the Shatter Me series by Tahira Mafi. I put this at number 5 because I think most people after finishing the trilogy tend to like Warner, but I know after the first book Amy hated him, I hated him after Shatter Me, and there's probably some people that still hate him and can't forgive him for what he does in the earlier books, even after they finish the series. But yeah, I think I can defend him because I think the character development's really good, and I think once you've read Unravel Me, especially the second one, you kind of understand a lot more behind his character and you can understand the motives for what he does, and I just really sympathise with him because he had to deal with a lot of rubbish and he just did what he had to do, and he's a sweetie pie and he says love all the time, and I just love Warner.
Number 4 is Juliet, again from the Shatter Me series by Tahira Mafi. Laura doesn't like her very much, and I think her writing style, as her voice of Juliet, could be generally quite annoying. At some points I'm just like, shut up now. You've done a lot of describing. But generally I quite like her so far. I think I like how she ties her hat when she means business. I like how she's so conscious about hurting people. And at the minute I'm just quite a fan of Juliet.
My number 4 is Chaol from the Throne of Glass series. I'm holding up Air of Fire because that's a book I'm currently reading. So I'm sure there's Chaol developments that I'm not aware of yet. But I'm basing it on Crown of Midnight because I don't think people hate him in general after Crown of Midnight. But there is, I loved him straight away. I always preferred him over Dorian. A lot of people are still Team Dorian, or now even Team Rowan, which I really don't get because he's a dick in this book. But I hope Chaol doesn't do anything really awful. But in this book, Selena is really hurt by what Chaol did in Crown of Midnight. And I'm totally defensive of that because I think he didn't mean for things to go as badly as they did. I'm trying not to be spoilery. He feels really bad, and I think he's a really sweet guy, and I hope he doesn't do anything worse, but he'd have to do something really bad for me to stop liking him because I really love Chaol.
My number 3 is Jace Herondale from The Mortal Instruments. Again, Laura doesn't like Jace, or Clary really, but Jace, I absolutely love him so much. I think he's so charismatic and funny and sexy, and I love Jace to bits and pieces. He just gets better and better and better. He does get a bit moany when he's all taken over, but he's taken over, and I just love it so much. I just love him.
My number 3, I tried to go for a slightly different one. I went for Lady Macbeth from Macbeth by William Shakespeare because she's definitely a disliked character. On first read of Macbeth and after seeing her production, often she is portrayed as being the reason Macbeth kills the king, and she's just seen as this really evil woman who kind of causes all the horribleness. But I think it is definitely one way of reading the play, but I think there's definitely other directions you could read it as maybe Macbeth's horrible to her and she's just kind of poorly treated by him, and there's the reading that she lost a child and that is why she's so depressed, and she goes a bit mad at the end, and I just feel quite sorry for her, and I prefer the readings of her as a nice person because I think always reading her as some villainous woman is just quite old-fashioned.
We were just discussing how our defences mostly are we like them, so you're sure. But yeah, number 2 for me is Draco Malfoy. I don't know how to defend him. He's a bit of an idiot the entire way through. I guess he's quite nice at the end when he that's his mum. I can't think of anything that he does is nice. His mum doesn't point out Harry to be killed again. I don't know. Malfoy is horrible, but I think he's just got a bad upbringing. And I know you don't have to be horrible because obviously Harry Potter has had a worse upbringing and he's still nice. But he's a moany, annoying person as well. At least Draco actually has a bit of I was going to say character, that'd make you all hate me. Harry Potter doesn't have character. Yeah, I just like Draco. I don't think he's that bad.
My number 2 is Margot Roth Spiegelman from Paper Towns by John Green. A lot of people really hate her, and I've read this book quite a few times now, and the first once or twice I read it, I loved Margot. I wanted to be Margot because I was a young tween, and I was like, wow, she's so cool and interesting. And now I can kind of see how she's following that manic pixie dream girl trope that a lot of people don't like. And I can see why people don't like her in terms of the ending, because, you know, Q goes through so much effort to try and find her and save her, and she's just not interested because she wants to get on with her own thing. So I can understand the hate, but I think she's a really good character. I think she's a really unique character where she doesn't really understand her own motives, so neither do you, and that's quite believable because teenagers don't know what they're doing. They're just a bit all over the place. And I like her because she just goes with the flow. She just wants to do something, so she gets up and does it and doesn't really care about other people, which isn't really a nice thing. But no, I defend Margot, and I can understand why. Just because Q is all romantic and chivalrous and goes on a road trip to save her doesn't mean she then has to go off into the sunset with him. You know, it's still her choice, and she's not interested in that way. So yeah, Margot's good.
And the number 1 person who I actually really, really like, who everyone hates, is actually one that everyone does actually hate to pieces, and I absolutely adore, is Joffrey Lannister from the Game of Thrones series. Everyone hates Joffrey. Joffrey's an idiot. I think he's great. When he's torturing people and well, he doesn't actually do it. He just all says he's gonna. He's all talk and no do just because he's a kid. I'm going more on the series Joffrey because I really like, I forgot his name, Jack Gleeson? Probably. Not sure. He's a lovely Irish man of loveliness. And you wouldn't think he could play such an evil character. Joffrey in the book is quite evil, but he's just a guy who doesn't know. He's quite nice to his wife to begin with. He just gets led astray by the fame. But that's believable too. I just like Joffrey. I think he's great. I was quite sad when he... Yeah.
My number 1 choice is Holden Caulfield from The Catcher in the Rye. Like Amy's number 1, he's a really hated character. I think he's the reason people don't like this book, is because everyone just talks about how whiny and moany he is. And he is, but I don't mind. I really like him. And I feel really, really sorry for him because, a bit like Margot, I think he's just a believable teenager who doesn't know what he's doing and is trying to figure out who he is and his place in the world. He's just a confused, lost teenager who doesn't know what he's doing in the world. He doesn't know who he is, and that's fairly believable at that age. And I think I read this at the right time to sympathise with him. And yeah, I just think he's okay. He's just muddling through, and he might be whiny or moany, but people are. You know, they're not always go get 'em cool, happy people, or have to go through horrible trauma to be a bit miserable. He's just a bit unhappy and dealing with things, and that's fine. But I can see why it might be annoying to read his narration, but I like him.
So those are the characters that people generally really hate and we had to defend. Please let us know which side you're on, if you're on Team Amy or Team Laura, who you want to defend.
But defend us.
Oh.
Defend everyone's hatred for us. Would you defend Amy and Laura? Let us know.
That is not what I meant. That is what it sounded like.
We don't know if we'll be doing Top 5 Wednesdays in June because things are getting a bit mad in summer. We plan on doing an update video to explain it all, and we're not sure if they'll be up on the Goodreads group by the time we have time to film. So if not, we will see you on a Top 5 Wednesday in the future. But we will still be watching everyone else's anyway.
So we'll see you then. Bye.